They say that I'm on the road. Maybe I just lost control. These nights keep on taking tolls. Find me out here on my own.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video on this channel of mine. So first off, girl, because I know y'all gonna ask because it's super cute. I got this on Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova, sis. Super cute. I always get compliments on this little jackets. Okay, sis. So this story time is not clickbait. Okay, I was watching Bailey Sarian and
Yeah, my name is Bailey Sarian.
I was like, I have a similar story like that. Similar story, okay? That story was a little bit something else, okay? It was talking about a little girl getting kidnapped. Let me tell you guys, if you guys were a kid like me that had a little nasty little attitude since little and it helped saved you from then till now, you'll get it, okay? Let me tell you guys, not clickbait. If I could tell you all the stories of when I was little, how many people tried it? How many people tried it and my little attitude having ass was like, Uno reverse, bitch.
Hi, Lorraine.
It's Ray. Nobody calls me Lorraine.
Uno freaking reverse. So I remember my parents, obviously, they told me the whole stranger danger, don't talk to no one. If they say, if they threaten you, I'm a friend of your parents. Your mom, dad call me, like, the spiel that they tell you as kids, everything under the sun, like, don't believe I got candy, free ice cream, puppies in the van. Like, you know what I'm talking about, says everything, okay? So I'll never forget this. It was me and my sister. At this time, I think I was 7 or 8. I was the big sis. I would watch her over her. Like, I was super protective over her, okay? And I remember we had just moved to this house. We didn't really know the neighbors like that. So it's not really like, oh, why weren't they watching or wasn't a neighbor around? No one was really out, sis. So we had moved to this new house and the area wasn't bad. That's the crazy thing, sis. I can't say like, oh, we lived in a bad area. Oh, it was ghetto. No, sis. It was actually a pretty nice area, an up and coming nice area, okay? And we had a huge front yard. So we're playing as kids do, we had tons of toys. We were super, super spoiled when I was little. So we were playing with something, sis. I don't know. But I remember my mom would watch us, and you know how parents do it where like they have like a little outside chair and then they'll be, like reading on a book or whatever they did back in the day, says I don't know. Or she would have her little music, like the little boombox, have her little music and like watch us. I remember she went in for a quick second, you guys. I want to say it was probably to use the bathroom or probably to answer a phone. Maybe it was a house phone. I know, the house phone, something, sis. It was something for a quick second, okay? And this is the crazy thing about it. Again, she had trained me in the way of like I knew stranger danger and all of that. So I remember my sister was a little bit more like the way the house was is that the front yard was pretty big. Okay, so this side was grass, this side was asphalt, concrete, however you want to call it, and then like it had a fence. It just a regular fence, and then it had two doors, fence like chain link, that would open like that. But my parents had a chain on there with a lock, a whatever you want to call it, the master, that lock, okay? So a huge chain wrapped around the lock, okay? Yes, we had a dog. Yes, we had a pit bull for safety purposes, but she was in the backyard at this time, or else she would have been roaming around, right? And I remember my sister was a little bit more closer to the gate. She wasn't in the gate where someone can get her, like go over. It was a low gate. I should mention that too. Probably, girl, I'm not even 5 or maybe 5 feet. I don't know. It was really little, really short, okay? Where we can climb over type of thing, okay? It wasn't like a big old nothing, okay? But like my sister was kind of closer to the gate. I was more in the back. I don't remember what I was doing. I don't remember what toy I was playing. Maybe I had a Barbie, maybe, I don't know, a ball, maybe it was on my bike. I don't know. But I remember my sister had, and I'll try to put like a picture of somewhere on here, but it's like this toy where it's like a spiky ball in the end. It has like water and glitter. You could squish it. Had little stuff inside, little toys or whatever. And like it had a string and you would like swing it like that, or you would bounce on the string and it was like, I'm talking about, something like that. So my sister was getting it and she was going in a circle. swinging. I remember she was swinging it like this, and I'm over here like probably silently judging her as I used to back in the day. Probably just silently judging. Some of you are probably silently judging her. She's swinging it like this. But that was still my baby though. Don't get it twisted. I remember I was looking at something in my hand, and I look up, and I was super one of those kids that like I watched. I even to this day, sis, I be peeping everything. Okay, so I was looking at something in my hand, and then I see this van, and I think it was a silver van to this day. I'm pretty sure it's silver van, little Astro van type of thing. Okay, and I seen it going, and then it like got close to the curb of our house and kind of like slowed down. Now, mind you, my parents, we had just moved to this house. We don't know anyone. Everyone we know is like 3 cities down, sis. We didn't know anybody. My parents were pretty, even though I was like little, they were pretty much communicative. Or they would be like, "Hey, your grandma's coming today," or "Hey, your tia's coming today." You know, pretty communicative. So when I seen the van slowing down, I was like, she didn't say we had people over. And I knew at this point in time, the only one that would probably visit would be my grandma. My grandma didn't drive that car. Like the people that I knew in my family, the people that would visit, if anything, didn't drive that van. Okay. So as they're slowing down, they're pulling to the curb, and I'm like this, and I look at my sister, and I remember yelling her like family nickname we have. We each have like family nicknames, and I tell her I was like, come here, like now. I remember screaming at her like, come here now. I remember kind of like I just told her like stay back or go in the house. Either I told her to stay behind me or either like go in the house, one or the other. Because I don't remember her being there after. I probably yelled at her to go in the house and get mom, something like that. Sounds like something I would do. So I remember going a little bit forward. This lady comes out and she's leaning on the fence. She's like leaning like that. And she's like, "Hey, can you come here?" And I remember my mom always saying that if they say come here, don't ever get close. So there was still some distance from the fence. And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, "I lost my dog. Can you help me find my dog?" And I looked over and I was like, "What does he look like?" Cause girl, I've been here for like 20 minutes. Ain't no damn dog around here. Like, why would out of every like I'm thinking in my head, like out of all the places in the city, why would your dog be here in this little like neighborhood, like this little dead ass, quiet, calm neighborhood? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I've been here for 20 minutes. I ain't seen no damn dog. What do you look like? What he look like? Like I was bugged, you guys. If there was stranger danger, but I was more annoyed. Like, why are you ruining my playtime outside? What are you? Who are you? What you want? You know? So I remember this lady said, like, "Oh, it's a brown dog." And I got mad because I was like, the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do with it? It's brown. Like, I don't, girl, you can't just say it's brown. Like, if someone was actually looking, let's just say this. Let's just say this. If someone was looking for the actual dog, you would be like, "Oh, have you seen my Maltipoo? I don't know. Have you seen my German Shepherd? Has one blue eye, one green eye. His name is Lassie. Has a blue collar," right? You would details like that, right? This lady that's leaning like this, like, "Oh, sweetie, you treated me," and I didn't like. Girl, I had attitude. I didn't like when adults would treat me like a little kid. When they would be like, "Oh, sweetie," I would get mad. I would get like defensive. So she's like, "Yeah, sweetie, it's a brown dog." I remember I like did one of these like, "No, I haven't seen him. Like, what do you want?" You know? And then it was like, "Oh, can you help me look for him? Like, can you come out and help me look for him? And we can look all around." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna call for my mom. I'm gonna ask for my mom." Mom! I sure as hell did. I sure as hell did. I remember that. The lady ran in the van and I was like, "Mom!" I did one of those from my toes up. I did one of those, "Mom!" And I know I must have sent my little sister to go in and grab her because sure as hell my little sister comes running out. And my mom comes running out. And I'm like, "There's a lady right there. She's looking for her dog. She wants to kidnap me. She's right there." Girl, I sure as hell did. I made a scene. I was like, "Yeah," because I was annoyed. Like, girl, I don't care where your dog is. You're over here leaning on my fence. And I was really weird about that too. I was like, "That's my fence. Don't touch my fence. This is my brand new home. Like, how dare you?" Girl, there was a lot of things. A lot of things that I was just super picky about at a young age. So I remember like all of that, it just made me mad, from the lady bugging me to her leaning on my fence to her saying it's just a brown dog. Like, bitch, I need a better description. Like, I was so peeved. Her being like, sweetie, can you help me find my dog? Like, if I was a damn kid, even though I was. Girl, I was so peeved. Like, fuck off. So I remember screaming like, ah. She came out. I'm telling her everything. She's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad, that's why, the lady, there might have been like a man inside to take you and rob you. And she was like, oh my gosh. I remember she was like almost on the verge of tears, hugging both of us, like just holding on to us. And like this and this, like, oh my gosh, my babies, I'm glad you're safe. Oh, girl. And I just remember like looking over and just being like, okay. Like, she was like, play inside now. I'm like, okay. I don't know. We must have, like, me and my sister probably, like, I don't know, put the TV on and started watching, like, PBS Kids or something. But I didn't think too much out of it. Like I said, I was more annoyed at this damn lady, more frustrated. And sure enough, to, like, the weeks coming up, my parents ended up putting security cameras. So they ended up putting security cameras, and then they put the little, what's it called, like, the little sign, and they put it on the fence that was like, smile, you're on camera, like that. So yeah, they've been to security cameras, making sure everything's all good. And at the time, it was something like not everyone had security cameras. It wasn't like a thing to put on your house. At the time, that was the new door ring little thing, whatever, that we have now. But back in the day, sis, they sure as hell did. They put the little cameras and they put it all over the house, and just to make sure we're safe and all of that. But I will never forget that. And I, like, when I was watching the video of Bailey Sarian and she's talking about how like the kids fall for it, like I just sat back and was like, wow, you were almost kidnapped, girl. You were almost you're almost kidnapped. Like, wow. It didn't hit me, just the reality of it, until now, where I was like, damn. It's one of those like, damn, I really was almost kidnapped. Your girl was almost kidnapped. Imagine. And I am so grateful that honestly I have been a little diva, a little brat since younger. That because of that, you guys, it really saved not only my life, but it saved my sister's life, because who knows what would have happened to us? Who knows where we would have ended up? Who knows? And it's so sick and so sad how people are nowadays, that again, I am so glad I had an attitude, because you guys, that was just the one like straight out there almost kidnapping situation. But there was also other situations where I could have been in just bad situations because people are weird, with kids and all that. And I'm so grateful that because I always had a damn attitude, and because I was super protective of not only myself, but my younger sister, like it always came in clutch when it needed to, that so many things were avoided. Because like I said, there's a lot of weird adults. They think they could like mistreat kids. They think that they won't say anything. There's a lot of like teenagers. There's a lot of like guys out there that are older that will take advantage of kids. And to this day, I'm so grateful that the younger version of me was such an outspoken little girl. She was so out there. She was so peeved at people bothering her and people acting stupid. And if she didn't get what she wanted, like, I am so grateful to that little girl having a damn attitude, because that literally saved not only my life, like I said, but my sister's life. And it really just comes full circle where I was just like, wow, girl, you would not have made it. You would have been whole different story. I would not be here on YouTube talking about story time. I would be the damn story time. So you guys, if you have a similar story like that, you guys can relate. But people really, and that was the freaking early 2000s. People were still wilding. So thank you so much for watching my little story time. And I will see you guys on my next one. Bye, you guys. Stay safe out there.
They say that I'm on the road. Maybe I just lost control. Nights keep on taking tolls.